Hi everybody, I'm Tandy Gutierrez, and this is your 3-day wellness tarot card reading. So I pull 3 cards, one in reference to your body, your mind, and your spirit. We go through what those energies and what messages are coming through. I take that information directly integrated into the workouts on my website, and so that I can help you all navigate your wellness at all 3 levels in a really practical way. Okay, so please remember that this is a general reading. Not everything is gonna, ring true for everybody, but when you hear something that resonates at your core and you go, that little bit was for me, right? Take it and go with it, okay? So this reading is for all of my subscribers, members, followers, and fans. And again, it's a general reading, so just remember that. It won't always make sense for you, but it'll be for somebody out there or in some capacity. So if it's a reading and you get cards and things that you go, that really doesn't sound like it makes sense for me, use it as a meditation point. Like, can you fit it in somewhere? Can it put some clarity or some light on something? Can it evolve, and make things better? I always teach better is better, right? Things are a progression, they're an evolution. Rarely are they instantaneous. So the card readings are to help that level of spirit and to help evolve and out of love, right? Also, if you hear something that you go, that's totally what my friend needs to hear right now, or a loved one needs to hear, pass it along, right? Be a part of the serendipity, be a part of divinity, and help share the messages that somebody else needs to hear, right? Sometimes it's hard to hear from your friends and family because they're too close to the situation, but when it's presented in kind of a third-party perspective, that's very useful. So here we go. I always have a meditation and a little prayer, and I ask that the guides and guardian angels bring messages through me for the greatest good of all involved. I cannot believe we are doing the reading for December 30th, 31st, and January 1st, 2017. Where has the time gone, right? 2017 is pretty exciting in January 1st, okay? So 2017 adds up to a 1. 1s are fresh starts and new beginnings. January is the first month out of the calendar and the first day. So you've got a 111 in repetition, which is more of a divine, there's a lot of power behind this fresh start and new beginning. So I'm a big fan of January 1st, 2017 already, and I'm gonna be an even bigger fan of January 11th, 2017. So here we go. What do we have to share about the energy for your body, your mind, and your spirit in these 3 days, okay? I'll pull 3 cards, I'll show them to you as we go. Okay, so for your body, 3 of Cups. One that I just think is so beautiful and that we've definitely had before. 3 of Cups is this, reprieve, and it's kind of in the gloaming, like you're sitting with people you love or who really know you, and it's definitely a time of reflection. This is positive reflection, right? This is like, let's just chat over what has been done, which makes complete sense as we end the year in your body. Like, what have you done for your physical wellness and your physical thrival in the last year? What can you learn from that? What can you continue on that's working for you? And as we enter into the new year, what needs tweaking? Anything? Or are you just going, yeah, I put these patterns in, they're totally working for me, they're calm, they're consistent, they make me feel better, they make me feel empowered, they make me feel thoughtful, and move forward with that. It's a lovely, lovely card. Cups are, your emotions. It's also your capacity to receive. I feel like what can you hold, right? You fill up a cup. So it's about faith and it's emotions and it's about love. Like here in 3, I'm, the power of 3 in triangles. Can you see on my arm? No, not in this light. You can't. Like, body, mind, and spirit. That's the whole wellness triangle for me. And so the power of 3, of those 3 things, is really useful. And in fact, if you're missing a piece, it's like missing the wheel on your car. It's just not going to drive efficiently. It's not going to drive, right? It may move, but it's not going to get you there. So 3 of Cups to me says you've got, those 3 elements in place. There's 3 birds about ready. They're landed, they're homing in for the night. I don't even know if that's a real phrase, I totally made that up, but they're not getting ready to leave, right? Birds have the capacity to fly, but these birds are resting right now. The sun is setting, on these 3 elements of the body, and tomorrow's a new day, and you take flight again, and you come back and you fill up your cup again. This card always to me signifies that you all and your bodies need some cinnamon and some citrus and some lemon, and you can do that with essential oils, or you can do that with the real deal. But that these kinds of things are wonderful for your digestion. They're alkalizing to the system, and cinnamon has a wonderful component of really aiding in that good, ability to digest your food properly. Raisins, I'm hearing raisins too. I like to soak them, so if you soak the raisins and then sprinkle some cinnamon on them, let them sit overnight, and then you've got great stuff for the next day. The yellow and orange and red fiery is all about your digestion, and you've got to have a healthy, good digestion for the physical body really to thrive. So it seems like it's in a good place right now, or you've made some decisions to put it into a good place, and there's clarity about that. A little carnelian stone is great too, because you can wear it or keep it in your pocket near your belly. It's one that grounds all 3 of your lower chakras. So the ones that have to do, solar plexus with your self-confidence in the world and your digestion, your root, which is, it's the basics, it's food, water, shelter, and sex, it's, procreation. And then, so all of these, the 3 lower chakras, your sacral as well, these are the rooty colors. So you're in a good place with them, but just keep supporting them. Your root chakras, I feel like can't get too much support. We can talk about that later. But this one's really showing solid baseline. Let's get ready to fly tomorrow. Just keep doing what you're doing for these 3 days anyhow, right? Okay. And for your mind, 2 of Swords. Swords are, your intellect, your acumen, your knowledge, your mind. What are you filling your mind with? What is your mind doing? Where's it going? What's it thinking? These 2, and it's kind of an eclipse of the sun, right? You can look straight at it, but it's being covered up with something. The 2 swords are usually, and it's upright, but it's really strong. So I always look at it as 2 things that you've been thinking about, really coming together in strength and solidarity. There's this kind of this dark phase, for your thoughts here. It's blocking out the sun. That's kind of epic, really. And you can look at it, but it also looks like an eye. So to me, I'm getting this, so you're covering up your your third eye intuition business. You've got 2 really strong thoughts. You've been supporting them with information. So whatever you're reading and doing is giving that support. So it's strengthening, right? And you're kind of just, but there's still something dark and shady in it. You're not ready yet. You're not ready to pull the mask off to shine bright. It's not necessarily hiding, it's protecting. You need to do more reading, more cultivation, more understanding with your brain and your mind and your thought process before the 2 really strong pieces that you're aiming with can really take action. It is action, but these are crossed, right? They're at a crossroads. And so they are resting a bit. You're strong in your convictions of what you're understanding in these 2 topics, but you are hiding it a little bit right now, and that's okay. So sometimes you hide things to cultivate and understand it better before you share things with people. And it's not a malicious hiding of I'm not telling you this because I don't trust you. It's I need to trust myself deeper and better first before I share it, because we may get into some conversation about these things, and I want to be able to support it in an intellectual, constructive way instead of head down this argument path and then the swords are fighting. So your mind is in a great place. There are 2 particular topics that you are really mulling over, and that they're strong. You feel really confident about them, but you're shading them from the rest of the world right now. You're not really sharing it because you need to get clear about it before you embark on shining bright and stepping into the light with it. Okay? Spirit. Okay, so I have a lot of favorite cards, you all know that, but this is one of the ultimate ones. Okay, so the Hermit is, the major arcana cards are usually, you know, yourself. And this one is, I love the Wild Unknown deck because it just speaks so clearly to me. The Hermit is spending time with yourself, and this is your spirit card, and spending time connecting to spirit. But it's about learning. It's about being a student and getting educated and really understanding what you understand or what you think to be true. It can often mean finding a teacher, or that you need to go in search of a teacher. It's also, to me, it's always about being your own teacher, because it's a turtle, right? They carry their home on their back. When they need to go in and away from people and study up or to rest up, they just go in, right? So this is a clear card for the spirit, for you to go within and get anchored on yourself so that you can shine bright in the world. And you hear me talk a lot about burning bright and shining bright. You know it. When you come in contact with those people who are really connected, have a really solid spiritual understanding, they just seem comfier and brighter. They're glowy, you know, and you go, I want some of that. Well, guess what? Nobody gives that to you. You have to go in search of it. You have to cultivate it yourself. And like the turtle, right? It's not a sprint. It's not a fast process. It doesn't happen quickly. In fact, it can be very slow and methodical, but slow and steady wins the race. So be the turtle, be the tortoise. So it looks like in these 3 days, for sure, it's time to go within, time to meditate, time to pray, time to really focus on your spirit. How do you shine best in the world? Like, and maybe you don't know yet. Maybe that's what, you know, what going in is all about. Is when you spend that time in quiet, that's when you can really know. Chatter and conversation, yes, we need it. We're intellectual beings, but too much noise and it's just noisy. You have no idea how you feel. So, gosh, what a beautiful card for the new year, this ending of a year. I mean, when you close an entire 365 days out, what have you learned? Like, what have you been taught by this year? And then what can you go in with and go, what can I go teach next year? What do I need to learn in this next year? You know, and am I taking enough time by myself in this quiet space, in spirit, in meditation, in prayer, so that I am a light in the darkness? You know, and I've sung it to you guys before. It's one of my favorite songs. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So you can't burn bright in the world and be a light to somebody else if you don't spend quiet time by yourself and if you don't go within. So, little hermit, tuck up into your own little shell. Spend some time in the dark, you know, in the quiet, so that you can go burn bright. Beautiful. Okay, so the unicorn deck. Unicorns are very special to me. You all will find out more about that in just a couple of weeks. Less than that, I hope. But we pull one little unicorn card now at the end because they're very straightforward. They're full of magic. They're sweet and they're always positive, right? I mean, everything we do is positive because you're always learning from the negative too. So the dark icky ickies, they're really useful in the long run. If you don't have the dark, you cannot get to the light. If you don't spend time in your shell, you don't get to burn bright in the world when you come out. That's just truth, right? Okay, so what do our unicorns have to say to us today? It says laughter. You need a good laugh. Do you need a good laugh? Have things gotten way too serious this year? You know, what a great way to ring in the new year with laughter. I think that, you know, laughter is one of those just beautiful, you know, there's laughing yoga, there's laughter therapy, you know, and if you can't make fun of yourself, we're in a heck of some trouble. But this one's really fun. Like, this is like animals and kids and fairies and flying and silly. Like, go be silly. What a better way to ring in the new year than with laughter, right? That's beautiful. Okay, and just for the new year, I'm gonna pull an angel card for you too, if I can pick them up. These are the ones that I use daily. Again, very straightforward, very warm, lots of clarity. And I just thought it'd be fun, like, let's bless the new year with a unicorn and an angel, okay? So, what does the angel deck have to say to us? This is also a deck that my youngest son loves. Like, it arrived a long time ago in the mail. and he, hugged them. He's one of those little spirits that if he thinks something's good, you go, uh-huh, and you just don't question it. So I agree. I travel with these, and they're just always, you don't have to think too hard. It doesn't get too heavy, Okay, what do our angels have to say for the new year? Page of Air. Logical, honest, impulsive, curious. Challenging information. Delays or changes to plans. Truth delivered without tact. Interesting. Okay, here's what it looks like. There's a lot of elements in this card. So Air is also Swords card, intellect, acumen, thought process. What are you filling your mind with? Page is also, it can be a younger person in your life, a child, but it can also be somebody who's immature. They're delivering information, don't kill the messenger kind of thing. They're going to bring information to you somehow that is not going to be in a kind way. It's probably going to sound like, ow. But listen to them. There's honesty in it, and there's something to examine in that. So Page of Air is that there will be information coming to you that feels a little bit brutal and maybe a little bit immature. It's not their fault. This is just how the information is supposed to get to you. There are a lot of elements here. There's a unicorn in the background. There's a lion, and there's a wolf. So lots of intellectual, lots of strength, but a whole lot of magic here too. So logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information, but challenging just means it may just not come very sweet. I live in a house full of boys. Like, a lot of the information, I gotta let it go sometimes because it doesn't come out or across very sweet. And I'm like, dude, you guys could say that nicer and it would go over a whole lot more, it would go across better. But that doesn't mean that it's not accurate. Or that's not true, or that doesn't have, something good about it. Challenge makes you stronger. It lets you learn, so simple things, the good things in life never came super, super easy. Like, I do think there should be, a flow to things, and then you're in the right path. That doesn't mean things are easy. Man, that's a life lesson, right? But one at this point that I've learned over and over and over and over again. So Page of Air, be on the lookout, for messages coming from somebody with a bit of immaturity, lack of tact. But don't push off the information. I feel like this propels something forward in the new year for you. So in the long term, it's good information because it allows you to examine something or make a better choice before there's a mistake in something. So just hang tight to it. It's not ominous. It's just like you were planning on something happening at a certain time. There's going to be some information come that you're kind of like, what? Like, stop, listen to it, go fix whatever it is they're talking to you about. Okay? And know that there's a volcano in the back too, so maybe it can be very explosive and not tactful. But you've got the unicorn there with the big wings, and it's highly protective and highly magical. Like, your divine guidance is there and watching over you. Nothing bad's gonna happen. You just gotta navigate. You just have to navigate through it, right? The wonderful thing about life, between free will and divine timing, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, like furniture's being moved and people are put in your path, and you don't even know that those things are going on. So often when things come to slow you down, meaning you got to take a pause and a rest and think about something, that's because things are happening back here. And it usually means it's going to turn out better, or well, it just needed to shift. Okay, so there you go. December 30th, 31st, and January 1st, 2017. Thank you so much for being here for this reading. I hope it's helpful for you. Please like, share, and comment. You can never spread too much goodness in the world. You never know whose serendipity you're assisting by passing some messages along. If you need functional help with your fitness or your food, you can check out my website. And I have a new project to share with you guys really soon that I'm so utterly in love with, and as soon as I can say it, I will. So have an excellent and happy new year, and I will see you next time.